Hi, my name is Sally and today I'm going to show you a makeup look for a summer garden party using Look Fabulous Forever's range of makeup, which is specifically designed for older faces. So if you are going to a summer garden party or a street party, the last thing you want to be worrying about is your makeup while you're there. It could be quite a warm day. It could be that you are out for quite a long time, eating, drinking, and you don't want makeup that's going to slide off, sink in, disappear, or attach itself to your cup or your glass. So for me, it's really, really important to use primers. So I have got no makeup on at all now. I have lightly cleansed my face and moisturised, and I'm going to get started on the look. So I'm actually going to use the Smooth Like Silk Face Prime as my absolute essential item for a garden party. I wear it all the time underneath my foundation or my Light Look Beauty Balm, but it's particularly good if you are going to be out in the heat because it does two things. I'm going to just take a couple of pumps out onto my hand. It does two things. It will blur any fine lines and open pores that I've got, creating a really smooth base for my foundation. And secondly, it will mean that my foundation or my beauty balm will stay on all day. I will not need to worry about touching up however hot I get. It's just a brilliant base. It makes such a difference for me when I put this on before using foundation or beauty balm. So because I'm going to be out in the heat at my summer party, I have decided to just use my Light Look Beauty Balm #1 rather than a continuous cover foundation. I could have used continuous cover foundation, or sometimes I use a mixture of the two. But today I'm just going to use the Light Look Beauty Balm. So again, I'm putting it on my hand, and then I am going to take my foundation brush #3. You can just either put it on with your fingers, or I quite like to just place it on gently with the brush and then just sweep it over my face. I love this product for summer because it's light, it gives nice coverage, but it gives you a slightly dewy, really natural look, which is brilliant in sort of strong sunlight or daylight. I don't want to look at all cakey. So this product just allows me to look polished, but without looking heavily made up. Okay. So the next primer I'm going to use, which is brilliant for any kind of summer event or any kind of event to keep your eye makeup on, is the Smooth Out Eye Prime. Again, this does two things. It stops your eyeshadow from creasing, which sometimes if you're getting a little bit hot, you might find that your eyeshadow starts to move and slide and crease. So this will stop that. And it also will cover up any discoloration or sort of little tiny veins that you might have on your eyelids. And it means therefore that the eyeshadow goes on as a true colour. So the secret to this product is to make sure you put it on to dry, clean, oil-free eyelids and only use the smallest amount. So I'm only using a tiny amount. I tend to put it on with my finger, my ring finger, about that much. And then I take my concealer brush #4 and just blend it in all over my eyelid and just above my socket line. At this stage, while I'm doing primers, I'm going to also put on my Never Feather Lip Prime. And this will ensure that my lipstick that I'm going to put on later doesn't move and migrate into the little finey lines, so it doesn't feather into my outer edge of the lips. So the secret with this product is not to put it all over your lips, but just to put it onto the outer edge. And that will then just create a barrier to stop your lipstick from moving. Okay, so I am now going to put on some concealer. I'm going to use my concealer number 2, and this will just give me a little bit of extra help in the areas that I need it. So I'm going to put it into the corners of my eyes, which are a little bit bluey. And then I'm just going to stipple it underneath where I've got a few dark circles. The warmth of your finger will just melt it into the Light Look Beauty Balm that I've already got in that area. I'm going to put a little bit just onto a few little sunspots that I have as well. So this is just creating the perfect canvas on which I'm going to put a bit of colour. Okay, what I'm now going to do is to use a really lovely product, my translucent powder. Now, this is essential if you're going to be out in the heat for setting your makeup and stopping it from sliding off. And the beauty of this product is that it is so finely milled that it will not sit in any lines. Now, I use it in 2 areas. I'm going to use a small, this is actually the eyeshadow brush number 7. So where I have put my under eye concealer, I'm going to just tap a little bit of loose translucent powder just to set that. If you've put it on any specific areas, then again, I will use a smaller brush. But otherwise, I use the big fluffy powder brush number 1, and I just sweep it on, and that will just hold my foundation or my Light Look Beauty Balm that I've used today in place all day and stop me looking too shiny. But it's not heavy. It's absolutely brilliant. Right, we're going to do some work on my eyes. I'm going to keep my eyes fairly light and fresh, and I'm going to sort of match a little bit with what I'm wearing at my garden party. So I am going to use as my base Caramel Pink, and this is a no shimmer eye shade. It's a really pretty colour. So if you like cream, but you want a little bit more of a sort of a shell pink colour, a warm pink, this is lovely. So I'm going to put it all over my eyelids, just to create a nice, light, fresh base. You can't really go wrong with this colour, with whatever you're wearing. So I'm bringing it to just above the socket line. Don't be worried about putting enough of the first base on. You need enough so that when you're putting other colours on, you've actually got a good level of eyeshadow to adhere to. If you just put it on very sparingly, it can look a bit patchy later, so you need enough. Okay, so that's my first colour. I'm now going to use Taupe, which is a really lovely versatile colour, and I am going to put that just in my socket line to create a little bit more definition. Again, it's a very, very natural colour, so you can use this if you are warm or cool. Just a slightly darker colour, which will then enhance and lift my socket line a little bit. Okay, what I'm going to do now is to define my eyes, and I'm going to use Forest. This is a really pretty dark green. Even though I've got blue eyes, because I'm wearing a sort of green and coral dress, I'm going to use this colour to define. So I'm going to use my wedge brush number 8. And I'm just taking a little bit up. And I'm just going to basically press it into the base of my lashes. This will have the effect of making my lashes look thicker. And for me, my lashes are fairly fair. So it makes a big difference if I actually define them. It's much softer than using a pencil or a liquid. And also it won't move or smudge, which is important if you're at a garden party. So I'm putting a little bit underneath as well, just under the base of my lashes. Really important, if you can, if you're going to be outside at a garden party, to do your makeup in good daylight, not in artificial light, because you want to see what your makeup is going to look like in the daylight. It can look quite different, so make sure that you can position yourself in front of a really good window with some good light, good daylight if you can. What you can do if you want to add a little bit of green to the look is to put some of the forest just in the outer corner where you put taupe, just to give it a little bit. I sometimes like to do that, just to give it a little bit more of the colour that you've used as the eyeliner on the eye, but not too much. So if you use taupe first and then just a little bit of the green, or if you're using midnight blue, the blue, or if you're using charcoal, the charcoal, then it just helps to give you a little bit of definition without looking too strong. What I'm going to do now is to do a little bit of brow work. Then I'm going to put a little bit of highlighter on, then I'm going to do my mascara. So I am going to use today my Bring Back Brow. Where is it? Bring Back Brow shape in blonde. So I am going to first of all groom my brows just a little bit with my spoolie brush and just fill in any little gaps that I've got. This is a really pretty colour. I sometimes use the brown one, but I quite like the blonde one for a daytime summer light look. And then use the spoolie brush again, just to soften the effect. Now I'm going to use my magic product, Instant Bright Highlight, underneath my brow, just to give me a little bit of highlighted look, which means that my brows will also be a little bit more defined. So I put a little bit there. And while I've got it in my hand, I'm going to just click it up, put a little bit on my top of my cheekbone and just tap it in. This is a really pretty look because it gives you that very slightly highlighted look without looking too shimmery, which is really important if you're out in the sunlight. You don't want to look really, really shimmery, but it just gives you a really natural glow. I put a little bit, a stripe down my centre of my nose, which is quite a pretty slimming look. I quite like to put a little bit just in this sort of area as well. And I put a little bit on my Cupid's bow. Light brings forward. So again, quite a subtle but pretty look. So I'm going to use the waterproof black mascara, which I love. But the first thing I'm going to do is to curl my lashes slightly, because that always makes them look, my eyes a little bit more open. I know that my eyes are not going to run if I get a touch of hay fever, if I'm out, or if the sunlight sometimes can make your eyes water a little bit. So for me, the waterproof mascara is invaluable if I'm going to be out. So what I now need to do is to give my face and my lips some colour. So I am going to use the lovely peach cream blush, which will hopefully go really well with what I'm wearing. So I'm just going to pop this just sort of above the apple and sweeping it upwards. This is a great product all year round, but I love this product because it's a cream that then turns into a very slight silky powder. So it has the flexibility of both. Very natural looking, very easy to apply, and just looks nice. Even if you get really hot, it just doesn't really move. It stays beautifully. It doesn't sink into the skin, but it doesn't just sit on the top either. So very flexible product. And then I'm going to use my blusher brush number 2 just to blend it a little bit more. I want to look a little bit more sun-kissed, so I'm going to use a little bit of bronzer. So this is a brilliant product for summer, and I'm going to take, because I am warm, I'm going to put it on over my blusher. If you're cooler, I would probably do the bronzer first and then end up putting your cool rosy glow or pink raspberry pop blusher on top of the bronzer. But because I'm warm, I'm going to get away with putting a little bit. I'm actually putting a little bit over my blusher to start with, just to give it that little bit of extra help. But to use it actually as a bronzer, just where you would naturally get sun-kissed, so just here on your temples. So finally, I am going to use a long-lasting lipstick in one of my favourite colours, which is coral. The longer lasting lipsticks are brilliant because if you're going to be eating, drinking at your summer garden party, the last thing you want to do is worry about your lipsticks coming off. You might be kissing people, saying hello. You don't want your lipstick on their faces. You don't want your lipstick on your glasses. So this is brilliant and it stays on really well. So I'm going to apply it with my lip brush number 5. I outline the lips first. And then I fill in. If you're going to a party, I would recommend using the lip brush just to make it look more professional. You can put it on better. And at this stage, when I put my lipstick on, I always like to reassess whether I need any more bronzer, blusher. I might even put a sweep more powder just over, just to set everything. Take my clips out now. And there we have it. Hopefully a garden party look that will stay on no matter how hot it is, no matter what I drink or eat, so that I can just enjoy my party and not worry about my makeup. Thank you.
If you love this video and would like to see more content like this, then subscribe to my channel.